Okay, let's kick things off. Have you ever scrolled through TikTok and just felt kind of intimidated?
Oh, absolutely. You see these amazing videos.
Yeah, slick visuals, perfect lighting, maybe some cool effects, and you just think, how? I must need like super expensive gear, right? A whole studio.
Totally. It feels like you need a Hollywood budget just to compete. That perception is definitely out there.
It really is. And it stops people, I think. But what if the secret wasn't about spending loads of money?
What if you could get, like, genuinely stunning results just with the phone you already have?
Exactly. That would be a huge relief for so many
A
people.
total game changer, yeah. Shifting focus from, your wallet to just creativity,
Yeah,
technique.
precisely. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're digging into excerpts from a guide called Budget TikTok Video Production.
And the core promise is right there on the title, isn't it?
Yeah.
Budget-friendly, but still impressive.
Right. So our mission is to unpack these ideas, pull out the practical strategies, the maybe surprising tips that prove you don't need a massive budget to make waves on TikTok.
It's about using what you've got, maximizing those tools.
Exactly. And actually, speaking of maximizing efforts, once you start using these budget tips, getting your videos looking sharper,
Mhm.
if you find yourself wanting to, boost your profile faster, get more eyes on your great work,
Makes sense?
you might want to check out rapidboost.net. Our source material mentions them as a trusted service for organic social media growth,
Okay.
designed to help creators, businesses, influencers basically get wider reach, faster growth, but still staying true to their brand. Just something to maybe keep in mind as your content quality goes up using these methods.
So nail the content first with these smart, low-cost tricks.
Yeah.
And then think about boosting visibility.
That's the idea. So let's dive in. We'll explore why TikTok is actually kind of perfect for budget creators.
Yeah, and the specific tools, the techniques.
And planning, filming, editing, all without breaking the bank.
Okay, so the first big thing this source jumps into is pretty bold. It basically says high production value, not the key to TikTok success.
Really? That kind of goes against what you might think, especially coming from other platforms.
Right. It argues TikTok actually levels the playing field. It prioritizes personality, originality, that sort of authentic connection over slick polish.
That feels true to TikTok's vibe, yeah. And they back it up with a stat that honestly kind of blew me away.
What was it?
Nearly 70% of top TikTok creators, they make their stuff using just smartphones and free or low-cost apps.
70. Wow, that's most of them.
Exactly. It proves you absolutely don't need that pro camera setup.
So the source is saying the real difference isn't the gear. It's what you do with it, your ideas, how resourceful you are.
And just being willing to try things out, yeah, experiment.
Okay, so if my phone is probably good enough,
Mm-hmm.
what are the, absolute essentials the source says are worth maybe a small investment? The things that give the most bang for your buck.
Good question. So beyond the phone itself, and they say aim for at least 1080p HD recording.
Right, 1080p. They actually advise against 4K for TikTok, don't they? Overkill for mobile makes huge files.
Yeah, exactly. Stick to 1080p. But beyond the phone, just a few cheap things make a huge difference.
Starting with maybe the simplest thing ever.
Cleaning your phone lens, it sounds almost silly.
But it's so true. A smudged lens makes everything look awful, blurry.
Instantly unprofessional, yeah. Just wipe it off. Simple.
And remember, your phone usually has two cameras.
Right.
The back one is often better quality.
Good for filming stuff.
Yeah.
Or other people.
Yeah. And the front one, the selfie camera, is great for talking directly to the camera, to your audience. Use both.
Okay, so clean lens, use the right camera. What else is on the short list for gear?
Three main things, according to the source. First, stability. Shaky video looks amateur.
Instantly, yeah.
A small tripod, like a little phone stand, you can get them for under 15 bucks. Huge difference.
Or even just propping it up on books or something.
Totally. Anything stable works. Just avoid holding it if you can, especially for longer shots.
Makes sense. Stability first. What's next?
Lighting. Always lighting. Natural light. Your best friend. Free, too.
Just film near a window during the day.
Exactly. Soft, flattering light. But if you can't, or you're filming at night, a cheap ring light, maybe 20 bucks.
Those seem everywhere now.
They really help. Even light softens shadows. Big improvement for a small cost.
Okay, stability, lighting, and the third thing.
Audio. So important. It's
Yeah.
so often overlooked.
Ugh, bad audio is the worst. I'll scroll right past.
Me too. The phone mic is okay. Sometimes. But a simple clip-on lav mic. $10, $20 again. Plugs right into your phone. Makes a massive difference.
Okay, so a lav mic is ideal. But if that's not possible,
There's a great hack in the source. Record in small spaces with soft stuff around.
like a car or a closet, seriously.
Seriously, the clothes, the upholstery, they absorb echo and background noise.
Mm.
Aim the phone's mic hole towards you. It helps.
A closet. That's commitment. Okay, those are super practical tips. What about like backgrounds, props? Do I need a fancy set?
No, definitely not. Use what you have. Colorful blanket, a plant, an interesting wall texture.
Just tidy up the background, maybe?
Yeah. Or lean into TikTok's own effects. The green screen effect in the app is pretty good. You can put any background behind you.
Right, all within the app. Okay, so the gear takeaway is use your phone, keep it clean and stable, think about light and sound, and maybe spend like $50 total on a tripod, light, and mic if you can.
Exactly. A minimalist setup, but it covers the bases really effectively.
So you've got the basic gear sorted, but the source seems to suggest the real secret sauce for budget content is planning.
Absolutely critical, especially when you don't have endless time or resources. Just hitting record and rambling doesn't
Okay.
work on TikTok.
Attention spans are too short.
Way too short. A little planning means you know what you want to say, what you need to show. It prevents waffle.
So where does that planning start, according to the source?
With the hook. First 2 seconds are crucial. How do you grab someone? Ask a question. Show something surprising. Make a bold claim.
Gotta hook them fast. Then what?
Outline maybe just 2 or 3 main points. Doesn't need to be a full script. Just know your core message. Keep it tight.
And planning isn't just the words, right? It's the visuals, too.
Oh, yeah. A mini shot list helps a ton. Even just scribbled down.
Yeah.
Like intro-facing camera, demo overhead shot, result close-up.
Makes filming so much faster, less guesswork.
Exactly. Streamlines everything. Reduces needing endless retakes. The source also mentions batch filming.
Ah, yeah, filming multiple videos in one go.
It's a pro move, but makes sense on a budget. Get set up once, lighting, background, whatever, and knock out several videos. Save a lot of time.
Keeps your content consistent, too. Smart. Okay. Plan in place. Let's talk filming. How do you get decent shots with just a phone?
Okay, so framing and composition. Sounds fancy, but it's simple stuff, like the rule of thirds.
Yeah, imagine that tic-tac-toe grid.
Right. And put your main subject slightly off-center on one of those intersecting lines. Just looks more dynamic than dead center.
Easy enough. What else?
Watch your headroom. Don't chop off the top of your head
Yep.
or leave tons of empty space above. And try to keep the camera at eye level when you're talking to it. Looks more direct, more engaging.
Simple adjustments, big visual impact. What about lighting during the filming?
If you're using that window light, face towards it. Don't stand with the window behind you. You'll be a silhouette.
Right. Light on your face.
You can even bounce light back onto your face with just like a white piece of paper or cardboard held just out of frame.
Another zero-cost trick.
Totally. And if you need a tiny bit more light to fill shadows, maybe use another phone's flashlight. But tape a bit of tissue over it.
To soften it, make it less harsh.
Exactly. Diffuses the light. Super low budget hack.
That's brilliant. Okay, what about audio during filming? If you don't have that lav mic.
Remember those small, soft spaces? The car, the closet.
Mm-hmm.
They really do cut down echo and background noise your phone mic would otherwise pick up.
Right. Minimize noise at the source. And avoiding the shakes.
2 hands on the phone if you have to hold it, elbows tucked in. Use that cheap tripod if you have one. Or lean it.
And use the timer.
Oh yeah, definitely use TikTok's timer so you're not awkwardly reaching to press record at the start. Gives you a sec to compose yourself.
Good call. Any other filming tips from the source?
Don't be scared to do multiple takes. Your first one might be stiff. You often warm up.
Get comfortable with it.
Yeah. Shoot more than you think you need. Editing can fix a lot, but only if you have the footage.
Which leads us nicely into editing on a budget. Forget fancy desktop software, right?
Absolutely. The source stresses you don't need it. TikTok's own built-in editor, actually pretty decent for basics, cuts, text, music, some effects.
But the big recommendation seems to be CapCut.
Yeah, CapCut comes up a lot. It's free, made by the same company as TikTok, so it's really designed for mobile, vertical video. Surprisingly powerful for a free app.
It really is. Has features you'd expect to pay for. The source mentions InShot and VLO2 as good alternatives, maybe simply for beginners.
Right. But the core editing principle for TikTok, according to the source, be ruthless.
Patch-cut-cut.
Exactly. Attention spans are 0. Cut out every pause, every second that doesn't add value. Keep the pace snappy. Jump cuts are fine.
Music and sound effects are huge, too.
Massive. Use TikTok's library. It's vast, it's royalty-free, and using trending sounds can seriously boost your video's discoverability.
Good tip. Just turn the music down if you're talking over it, right?
Please,
Right.
yes, let people hear you. And text and captions. The source says they're non-negotiable.
Like text overlays on the screen and subtitles.
Both. Catchy text hooks interest. But subtitles are crucial. The source has this wild stat. Nearly 80% of TikToks are watched with the sound off, at least sometimes.
80%. Wow. Okay, so if you don't have subtitles.
You're losing a huge chunk of potential viewers. Always add clear, timed subtitles. CapCut makes this pretty easy.
That stat alone is reason enough. What about effects and transitions? Go crazy.
Source advises. Less is more. A cool transition here or there, fine. But don't overdo it. Too many effects can look messy, distracting.
Authenticity often wins over flashy effects, maybe.
That seems to be the vibe on TikTok, yeah. Find a style, stick to it. Don't let the effects overpower your message.
And finally, exporting the video.
Export in 1080p. Vertical format, 9.16. Always watch it back before you post. Check for errors.
Good final check. And then post strategically, good caption, relevant hashtags. Give it the best chance to be seen.
Right. All part of the process.
Okay, so you've got the budget gear, the plan, the filming, the editing. But how do you actually, grow an audience with this low budget approach? The source touches on content strategy, right?
Yeah, it does. Leveraging trends is key on TikTok, obviously. But the source says the trick is adding your spin.
Don't just copy paste the trend.
Exactly. Inject your personality, your niche, your brand's angle. Make it relevant to you.
So if everyone's doing a dance, maybe you teach the dance. Or explain the song. Find your unique take.
Precisely. Mix those trend adaptations with your own original ideas, too. Maybe like 2 original ideas for every 1 trend video. Keep it fresh.
And pay attention to what works, right? Analytics.
Definitely. TikTok's analytics are pretty good. Look at watch time, replays, shares, comments. What hits? Do more of that. Double down on successes.
Collaboration costs nothing, too.
Great point. Using Stitch or Duet to interact with other creators. It exposes you to their audience, builds community, great free growth tactic.
The source wraps up with a case study, doesn't it? Samira, the food blogger.
Yes. Samira's story is perfect. She started with an old iPhone 8.
Seriously, an iPhone 8?
Yep, and just a $15 ring light. Used TikTok's green screen, sometimes for fun backgrounds, but her viral hit wasn't some perfect recipe video.
What was it then?
A 20-second comedy sketch. A kitchen hack fail.
A fail, not a success.
A deliberate fail. She exaggerated her reaction, used funny text, a trending sound. It was just raw, relatable, funny.
That's brilliant. Counterintuitive. What happened?
It exploded. 2 million views in a week. Her followers jumped by 20%. Brands started reaching out.
Wow. That story just perfectly nails the source's whole point, doesn't it?
Completely. Budget gear, but huge creativity. Resourcefulness, being bold.
Yeah.
It wasn't the camera. It was the idea and the execution for TikTok.
Her success with minimal stuff just demolishes that initial fear, that intimidation factor.
Totally.
So thinking about everything we've pulled from these sources, what's the absolute main takeaway for someone listening who feels like they need tons of cash to make it on TikTok?
I think the overwhelming message is compelling TikTok content. It's way less about the money you spend on gear and much, much more about your creativity, your strategy, and just being clever with the tools you already have.
You really can get stunning results with just your phone and the right approach.
Absolutely. And we saw the proof, right, that almost 70% of top creators use phones and free apps.
Yeah. And those simple tips: clean the lens, use daylight, get decent audio, even if it means recording in a closet.
Yeah. They're not fancy, but they work. They make a real difference.
And applying these ideas isn't just about saving cash, is it? It's about learning skills.
Fundamental video skills, yeah. And maybe more importantly, finding your own authentic voice, your style that actually clicks with the TikTok audience.
Like Samira's story showed. Old phone, cheap light, but a hilarious, relatable fail skit. Personality and smarts won, not polish.
Exactly. Which leads to kind of an interesting final thought.
Yeah.
Instead of stressing about the expensive camera you don't have, what if you flipped it? What if you thought about how the actual constraints of a tight budget could force
you to be more creative.
more creative, more resourceful, maybe even more authentic in the end?
That's a really powerful reframe. Limitations breeding innovation.
Right. On a platform like TikTok, where people value that genuine connection, sometimes that slightly rough around the edges budget look, if it's done with personality and intention, feels more real, more relatable than something super slick and expensive.
So embracing the budget could actually be a brand statement.
Could be. It challenges that whole initial intimidation factor we started with. Maybe the real barrier, wasn't the cost all along.
Maybe it was just needing the nudge to grab your phone, try these simple tips, and just start creating.